Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. So it has been quite some time since I posted a video regarding my elbow and wrist. So I figured I'd give you guys an update. I've had a couple questions regarding like at-home therapies and then just how I'm doing in general. So I am going to try to answer those questions the best I can and go from there. So as far as symptoms go, I have not had any numbness or tingling in my hand. The only time I think I've ever slightly noticed it was if I had my arm rested on a desk for an extended period of time. But pretty much anyone, if they do that, their hand's also going to go to sleep. So as far as that goes, I think that my numbness is pretty much completely gone, which is great. I did, however, though, back this past year, around probably like February or March, I started getting excruciating pain right here, pretty much where my incision line is. And as you can see, it looks pretty good now. But I had severe pain here, couldn't extend my arm all the way, couldn't even hardly like bend it to touch my shoulder. I was having trouble like getting dressed in the morning. It basically felt like I was back post-surgery again, which was very scary. I thought something was wrong. I thought I tore something and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to have surgery again. I didn't want to have surgery again. So luckily I went to the hand doctor, which we've relocated somewhere else. So I had to find a new doctor here where we live now. And it's just been quite a lot trying to find someone that specializes in hand and elbow. So I got connected with a hand specialist and they did some evaluations. They actually put me back in therapy to see if that was going to help. Put me on some oral steroids. Nothing seemed to really work. So then we were back to square one again, and probably in September, I think, this fall, they decided to try a cortisone injection. They didn't really know what else to do. I had an MRI. It didn't show that I had a tear, so they didn't felt like I needed surgery. So did a cortisone injection. They put the first injection right around this area, which is where most of my pain was. They said diagnosis wise, it was what was called medial epicondylitis, which is like golfer's elbow or tendonitis of the inside of your elbow, and that it's just inflamed and it won't go down. So they were like, let's try a cortisone injection. Did the first one. After about 2 or 3 weeks, I noticed I had a little bit of relief. I was probably about like 50% back to normal. And so I went back again for a visit about a month ago, and they decided, you know, if we're not going to do surgery, we could try another cortisone injection. So they did a second one and I had excellent results. I'm back to being able to fully extend, fully bend without any pain. I've started cycling. I'm back in the gym again, lifting weights, and I don't really have a whole lot of pain, more so just soreness after lifting. And I obviously have started back really light because I don't want to agitate it again. I kind of need to build it back up. But that second injection, I think, worked wonders for me. So I just had an appointment with him this past Friday, yesterday, and he said that if it starts bothering me again in the next couple months, they would be okay to do maybe one more cortisone injection. You have to be careful when you do injections into joints. You don't want them too close together, and you don't want too many within a certain period of time. So there's like a whole slew of things you have to think about. But because I got so much relief, they were like, you know, we could try another one. And since you got so much relief from this second one. But I am very thankful. Like I said, my hand fully functional. I'm able to write, type, no pain at work. I did at work get a carpal tunnel mouse, which your hand is like at an angle instead of flat on the desk, which really takes off the pressure from my wrist. I also have like a little gel pad that goes on the desk, partly because resting my arm, it blocks that nerve, that the ulnar nerve that runs up and through your elbow. So that's usually what causes your arm to go to sleep. So I've got the little gel pad and my little carpal tunnel mouse that I use at work just as a preventative thing, so I don't get reoccurring symptoms or anything like that. But otherwise, I'm feeling pretty good. Don't really have any pain at nighttime. I don't like wake up in the middle of the night and my arm is asleep. So I'm very thankful that the surgery was successful. I'm now, probably like a year and a couple months post-surgery, and I'd say back to like 97% of how I was prior to going into surgery, just minus not having my arm go to sleep all the time and having elbow pain. So that's really great. For the first exercise, I'm going to be using these plastic cups. You could also use like styrofoam cups or something like that. Definitely would not use your glass cups, especially if you are in the early stages of recovering, partly because you don't have full function of your hand and you may drop one and then be really upset if it was like your favorite cup that you dropped. So anyways, we are going to be using these. So what they did was tell me to put all of these cups about an arm's length away. This was like earlier on, probably a couple sessions of therapy in. I was having trouble with straightening my arm fully out and extending it. That definitely took me the longest in therapy, or one of the longest things. So they told me to do this at home. So you put the cups away from you and then you stand. Don't use your other arm, so keep it down by your side or back behind your back, and don't bend over to try to reach for the cup, because then you're going to keep your arm bent. You really want to try to reach for the cup and extend your arm and reach for the cup, reach for the cup. And you do this until you have all of the cups. I usually did it like 3 or 4 times, and then I would take a break. I would do this twice. It just depended on how my arm was feeling that day. So another really good one to do, which I don't have any with me right now, but I think you can get them from like the Dollar Tree or probably like Walmart. They had little tiny puzzle pieces, and what you would do is put the puzzle pieces in your hand, and then this is more so if you're having difficulty with your finger movements or you're having trouble with that dexterity of your hand in general. They had me put the puzzle pieces, a couple of them, in my hand, and I had to use my thumb to pull the piece up between these 2 fingers. It really works this, where I had this incision done. And I noticed a huge difference after a couple sessions with that. So definitely would recommend that. Another thing you could probably substitute it for would be some marbles, or even coins. Coins would also be good. Something that's small enough that can fit a couple in your hand at a time, and then big enough so that you can actually move it up between your fingers. So that's another good one to do. For hand movement, they did it more so whenever we were warming up for therapy. So before you were about to start with like the cup exercises or stretches or anything in general, this one would be good. They would take my fingers and actually move them to the middle of my hand one by one. So working on that flexibility of each of the fingers. You'd be surprised, when I first started therapy, I could not even get my thumb, like this was probably about as far as I could get my thumb without it being like an excruciating pain. By the end of therapy, and now obviously look, I can push it all the way almost to the opposite side of my hand. Same thing with these fingers. It took a while to get that flexibility back, but once I did, I mean, I've got good use of my hand. I don't have any problems with holding pencils, doing anything like that at work that requires fine point dexterity, writing, anything like that. It's all pretty much good now. If you have an office chair at home, or just a chair in general, really, this works on extension of your arm, so fully extended out. You're going to put your arm on the back side of the chair and lean forward. This is going to put natural weight on the elbow. Definitely do not force that, because you can actually do more harm than good. It can be overstretching to that muscle that's already weak or is struggling in the beginning, right after surgery. So just kind of relax your arm on here, lean forward, and get a good stretch for, 15-20 seconds at a time. Or if it's hurting, obviously you don't want to push through pain. So you might need to take it back a little bit closer to the elbow joint, or if your elbow is a little bit bent to begin with, that's okay. You're working on the extension. I know when I first started with that one, it was very difficult. I thought I was gonna have a contracture where my elbow was in like a fixed, like 30-degree angle. But they really worked with me, and I worked at home on all of these stretches, and I now can fully extend it. So I will say from personal experience, all of these do work if you stick with them on top of doing therapy or whatever your individual therapist may tell you that you need to work on. Another thing that I've gotten since my last videos, I think I showed you guys in previous videos the creams that I've used and ice packs and heat packs. By the way, if you are just about to have surgery or have just had surgery or are in the recovery phase, I highly recommend getting a good ice pack. One preferably probably that can be like ice or heat. So then if you are getting ready to do some stretches, it's a good idea to put some heat on it. It kind of loosens up the muscles, relaxes them a little bit. And then an ice pack for afterwards, reduces inflammation, helps healing a little bit more. So I highly would recommend that. But I was just searching on Amazon and I came across this. I think it's called Asani. This is a gel pack. And as you can see, it's an actual sleeve, which I love. It slides on your arm like this. And there's different sizes. You actually will measure the largest area circumference, whether it be your bicep, at your elbow, or even at your forearm. And then it tells you which size, small, medium, large, and I think they had an extra large on there as well. So I leave this on for 10-15 minutes or until it starts to not be cold anymore. But I absolutely love this because I'm able to continue doing stuff around the house and it stays in place. But I highly would recommend this. Like I said, I found this on Amazon. You can probably find them on other websites as well. But the nice thing about this one is because it's gel and whatever is inside of here, I know it's gel, but there's some gel ones that when you freeze them, they get stiff as a rock. And that is not comfortable when you've just had surgery and you've got a sore arm or sore wrist or whatever it may be, and you go to put that hard thing on your arm, it hurts. So this one's really nice because this literally just came out of the freezer too. And as you can see, I can fold it in half. It's very flimsy, but it's cold. It is very cold. So super nice thing to have. Definitely would recommend that. Well, if you have any other questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below and hit the like button and subscribe. I have thoroughly enjoyed making these videos. I feel like it's so important to give awareness not only to this surgery in general, but just all surgeries. I feel like a lot of people just get the mindset that surgery is just gonna make everything better. You're gonna go in, you're not gonna have to do therapy, but that is definitely not the case. You do have to work at it. It can take several months up to a year, depending on what type of surgery it is. But just give it your all every time you go to therapy. Make sure you give 100% and you will get results. If not, just keep working at it. Don't get discouraged. Know that there's other people out there going through the same battles as you, some maybe even tougher. So just keep at it, keep your head up, and keep working hard. Well, with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye.